Every Athlete Matters is proudly presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. For more info, visit victorymuncie.com.
The national leader in digital sports production is in Ball State's College of Communication, Information, and Media. The best stories in Ball State sports and live productions to ESPN from day one. This is Ball State Sports Link.
Hey everyone, and welcome inside Studio B at Ball State University for another edition of Every Athlete Matters, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I'm Rachel Berry.
And I'm Sandra Osadik.
Every month, the creative storytellers and Ball State Sports Link share the best stories with you. This month, we start with men's basketball with the Madness of March just ahead. Redshirt freshman Jerron Coleman talks about what it takes to compete at his best in this piece produced by Lucas Stell.
Boogie in Indianapolis, I'm more known as Boogie than Jerron. It just, when people know me as, it's always been like that. So it's just the normal to everybody for real. But my dad told me that my grandma had something to do with it. And it's never been a story to like, I've never like actually tried to find out. It's like, it's just been my name. So I just always rock with it. And it's been with me since as long as I can remember. I actually was Indian All-Star, and I can say that for like the rest of my life. It's obviously a huge blessing. At first, it wasn't like I wouldn't say it wasn't big. It was a big thing in my life, but now that I already did it and I see other people achieving it and see how hard it is actually, it's making me appreciate it more and more. You know, they got a lot of Indianapolis kids. You know, Taj being from basically the same part of town that I'm from. KJ, he's from Indy. Josh, them three guys, when I had my visit, they was cool and I was talking to them. And they pretty much helped sell me to come to Ball State. So after my visit, it felt pretty good and it was close to home. My mom could be coming back and forth to home games and stuff. So it was an easy decision for real. I just like to stay positive and like just enjoy things. I don't like things harping down on me. I just try to stay like an uplift spirit, you feel me, for people around me as well. Anybody need people to talk to, I try to be that person. I mean, on the court, it's I don't know, it's pure emotion. So sometimes I may get mad, just like on the call or something, but most times I try to be uplifting just cause, say my teammates are feeling down, that they missing, just cause they missing a couple shots in a row, I try to kill them, keep shooting.
Jerron Coleman hits the glass and the basket.
Pretty much my main thing is try to just make plays in general, regardless. I don't have to score, I don't have to, whatever way I need to, do what I gotta do to be on the court.
The thing that he's been able to do is really figure out how to live like an athlete. You know, how to discipline himself off the court. He's got his body in great shape, his conditioning's at a higher level, learning to practice with college intensity, which is hard for all high school players. It's fun for me to watch now. I see him gets his makes in every single day. It's allowed his talent level to flourish.
I just enjoy playing. You know, I've been playing my whole life, and it's always been fun just because I've always been pretty good at it. It's just fun, so until it's not fun, the ball will keep bouncing.
The Mid-American Conference Tournament begins Monday, March 9th.
As the Ball State swimming and dive teams prepare for their MAC championship, our next story is on current assistant coach Kelsey Hall, who is a former athlete of head coach Jay Agnew back when she was in high school. Meet her in this piece produced by Hunter Onge.
So I got into swimming when I was about 7 years old. My brother actually was on the swim team, and I kind of just wanted to do everything that he did. When I was in 6th grade, my parents switched me over to Yorktown Middle School. So it was just all Yorktown school, Yorktown like swimming, and then Yorktown Swim Club too.
So in 2000, that was my first year at Yorktown, and I stayed there through 2007. I knew Kelsey was a different kind of athlete. She was one of the strongest young ladies I've ever coached. My first year, she was probably 11 years old. She was on our summer team with Yorktown Swim Club. I wasn't even sure if she really liked swimming. She came to practice. She was really strong. I thought she was a tremendous athlete, even at a young age. She got a hold of the water pretty quickly and started progressing really well. She was also a full-time high-level gymnast that you could see that athleticism in the pool, I think, and She talked it over with her parents. She decided that swimming was the route she wanted to pursue. And man, when she committed full time, you just saw her just take off. It was like a racehorse, literally.
I was very, very hyper-focused on swimming, and I kind of put all of my eggs in that basket. So I was kind of lost after I graduated, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do. So I moved back home. So I was like, well, I guess I'll go to Ball State for dietetics. And then once I graduated, I started working at Ball State in dining services. And so I was at the student center, and I was actually up at the Starbucks. And so I was up there helping them, and Jay walks through the line. And he kind of like looked at me like, I want to talk to you about this, but you're at work right now.
And as soon as I saw her, I was like, man, I'm looking for a new staff that has energy, knowledge. I knew her background, I knew her well, I knew she was a hard worker. So when I saw her there, I was like, Kelsey, would you be interested in being my staff? I'm pretty sure her answer was, thanks, no, I got a good job.
And then a couple weeks later, he came back around. And so at that point, I was like, okay, maybe I should really look into this. That was when I decided to go through the interview process and take the job.
From our history, there was a comfort working with Kelsey.
It's different to go from, he was my mentor and my coach, to now we are equals.
We have a level of communication that's pretty easy and open and honest, but it is different. I'm not talking to her, I'm talking with her.
It's been a learning experience for both of us, but it's been really neat to learn about each other kind of in a different light.
Watching Kelsey grow through her experiences has been a pretty awesome honor. To be a part of that is kind of a coach and walking her up from 11 years old to the young lady she is today.
The gymnastics team is off to a fantastic start this season with multiple record-breaking wins and individual performances. The team is in position for a MAC championship and potentially the NCAA's. Claudia Goyko has been key to this team's success. Here is her story, produced by Faith Denig.
Claudia is a very fun person to be around. She's a bundle of personality, I can tell you that, but she is a really big asset to this team, both physically and the person she is.
I have never been part of a team that's so tightly knit, and everyone cares so much about everybody, and we're just a well-oiled machine, and I don't know, everything about this team just works. So the whole time my teammates are doing routines, I'll smile with them and on the side, or I'll make stupid faces so that they have more fun. And then when they're going in the corner, I'll scream at them and tell them all right, it's go time, lock it in, let's go. Because that's what helps me whenever I'm doing stuff. So for me, the most important part of my floor routine is having fun and enjoying what I'm doing, because then everything else is easier to do. Tumbling isn't as hard, and I don't get as winded if I'm having fun, so I'm not really thinking about it.
My favorite part about watching Claudia's floor routine is that she gets so into her dance and she shows it off, and she just performs so well like no other person I've ever seen.
I like two parts. The one where I throw it up and hit them folks, because every time I do it, somebody looks where I'm pointing, or where the whole team is pointing. And then I also like when I check my pulse, because sometimes people get worried about me, but then I'm fine. And the whole time, I'm fine. Gymnastics has taught me to be resilient. It has taught me to be disciplined. I've learned a lot of life lessons through gymnastics that I'll probably keep with me for the rest of my life. It has taught me to be passionate about something, even when it's hard. Gymnastics isn't always easy. I have bad days probably more often than I have good days, but the fact that I come in after the bad days means a lot more than having a good day, if that makes sense.
Claudia, Sandra, and the entire team look forward to continuing a successful season this month.
That's right, Rachel. Another exciting event happened for Ball State basketball's Bracken Hazen as he popped the big question to his girlfriend. Let's take a look at what's going on in his life off the court. Produced by Cameron Surdick and Kyle Sellers.
When I decided to leave or transfer from UCF, I automatically knew it was down to Ball State and Arkansas. That relationship with Whit definitely gave me a huge interest to come here. And when I even decided to leave Arkansas or transfer from Arkansas, that relationship was rebuilt right away. I knew Ball State was the place for me. I mean, I knew I'd fit into the system really well. Kyle Mallers was on the team. I had a great relationship with him.
Yeah! Yeah! Whoa, I'm Jack, let's go!
Grew up playing basketball against each other, started in middle school, and when we started playing AAU together, kind of bonded through that, and yeah, we've been really good friends since then. So.
Yo, we're gonna be on the AD's Twitter account.
Pump it up, make it loud, let's go! And we get back on D because we're the best transition defensive team in the state!
There's not many times that I'm not smiling on the court, I think. I don't know, I'm just having fun out there. The more times that I'm having fun, the less tense I am and the less likely I am to make a mistake, honestly.
That's a basketball guarantee.
That's a Ball State men's basketball guarantee.
Mr. Kyle, please participate in the picture. You know, we've got great personalities on our team. Tajay, Ish, Josh, Kyle, Blake, we all have big personalities. Everybody's talking in the locker room, so everybody's acceptive of that humor. I mean, it definitely makes the team more fun to be around. And so taking on that task wasn't hard for me to do. I like seeing my fiance smile. That's definitely kind of the #1. If I can make her laugh, then it's good for sure.
So if you know anything about us, we dated in high school, broke up for a year and a half when he was in Arkansas, and then he transferred here. I was admitted in the fall of my senior year. He's a year ahead of me. And so then we got back together at the end of my freshman year. And at that point, it was like, well, if we're getting back together now, it's probably because we know that this is it. When we dated in high school, he was like the first guy that I could spend all my time with him and not get tired of him, even though like he's a big personality, so that says a lot.
Easy money. They've just been biting it, haven't they, Jayla? Jayla, haven't they?
There's just one random Thursday where I was looking at rings online just to get an idea. I mean, she's given me plenty of hints and ideas, yeah. So I bought the ring just some random Thursday. And I was never really nervous to ask her either. I mean, I knew she was gonna say yes, not to brag or anything. So we were sitting in my backyard and you were like, you know, this is one of the nicer spots that I like hanging out with you. It's my parents' backyard and it's got a nice view of the sunset and some land. So I decided that's where I was gonna do it. So I spruced it up. I put a little fire pit with some rocks around it and some market lights because I'm a sucker for market lights. Set some candles around it. Took her on a date that Thursday.
Was late to come and give me 45 minutes.
I was late, but I was setting up the spot.
And I was mad when he pulled up. I'm like, 45 minutes, I was ready.
But we quickly got over that. We got over that. And so we then traveled to Winona Lake, which is in Warsaw, ate there. And then I texted my family once we were done and said, all right, get it set up. So I had my brother start the fire, my dad light the candles and stuff. Got home and walked out there.
I set him up to say it too, 100%. I said, this would be a nice place to propose. Hugo, you want to practice?
I said, let's practice. And I got down on one knee and then
I was kicking him to
she
get
was
up.
like, don't jinx it, don't jinx it, don't jinx it. I finally pulled out the ring and that's when, I think that's when it hit
I don't
you,
even know
right?
what you said.
I don't remember what I said either. I was really, really happy though. Naturally, I leaned in for a kiss. I'm like, hey, can I give you a kiss, future bride?
Dodged him.
And she
hard.
totally like blew me off pretty much and just went for
right
the
by
hug.
the face.
I got friend zoned by my fiance. She's the one person that like I don't ever get tired of being around. There's some people in my life that you spend a couple days with and you're like, all right, I'm done with you. But with her, it's when we gonna hang out the next time? Like, let's hang out now. Where you want to go eat? I was excited the whole time. There was no doubt in my mind that I was gonna want to ask her to marry me.
We wish Bracken and his fiancée all the best. And as we've already noted earlier in the show, the team looks for continued success with postseason play starting soon.
Now, for our SL featured story this month, August 18th, 2019 is the date football's Antonio Phillips will never forget. This heartbreaking yet inspiring story, More Than a Dream, the Antonio Phillips story, was produced by Jack Kaiser with Quentin Zilke.
As far as I can remember, I've always had like a football in my hand and stuff like that, and been around just the game. And once I started when I was 6, that was just kind of became my thing every year. Can't wait till football season.
As a young baby, right when he started walking, he'd like to run around. So I knew that he'd be fast. I definitely knew that, but the path that he chose was unlikely because football wasn't presented to him like you would think. I was a football player, so I never made it an issue with my children to be football players. I mean, it wasn't forced on Antonio to play football. This was a love that he gathered on his own. He stayed after practice so many days in high school, catching passes, defending guys. He made it more of a point to make himself better. But you kind of got to have that mentality. Being, from St. Louis, that's the way we were taught to play.
Me and my brother were 4 years apart, so all the stuff that my dad was doing with me, he was doing with both of us. He would always say he was better than me, but we were two different types of football players. I was always kind of, lean. Growing up, he was a little chunky guy, so he played more line and middle linebacker, stuff like that, but he was really good. He was a hard hitter.
Had friends everywhere. He knew everybody. And he also was an awesome football player, so definitely a great kid.
As far as me, as I've gotten older, I like to be challenged by that next level of competition. It made me feel like family, made me feel like I was gonna be good here, and obviously like early chance, I would get an early chance to play, which is something that was big to me because like a lot of kids coming to high school, I didn't want to like sit out, take no time off.
Oh, he's a dog as a football player. You get him, you can guarantee he's gonna get you back.
When you meet him, he's such an engaging guy. His personality, his leadership ability, coaches, other players could not say enough good things about Antonio Phillips during the recruiting process, and then having a chance to meet his family and knowing that, man, Antonio Phillips is a great young man, comes from a great family, every quality that you could look for in a student athlete to represent your program.
He's my best friend. I mean, it's hard with him being away from school. I can't talk to him like I want to. But at some point every day, I send him a text message.
I get to Instagram, my messages was blown up, way more than usual. Mind you, I'm still kind of half awake or whatever, so I click on one of the messages, and it was a childhood friend that was really close to us growing up. First thing she said was, "Sorry for your loss." And that kind of just, when I read that woke me up.
Early morning, I woke up to my wife screaming. I'll never forget it. The detectives told us that they think they had found our son, so it was all emotions all at once. I didn't really know how to think it. As much as I wanted it not to be true, I couldn't tell them that it wasn't true. So it was rough to not be able to be there with him. For him not to be able to be with us, it was a hard time for our family.
I know he was shot and killed. So I don't know details or anything, but I know he was murdered that way. Yeah.
A 16-year-old boy was killed in an overnight shooting. His name, Jason Eberhard.
It happened shortly after 2 a.m. in the Carr Square neighborhood in North City. When police got there, they found his body in a parking lot. They say he was shot several times.
It's still like unsolved. Like I still don't know what happened to my brother that night or who he was with, how it happened, nothing like that. That's the hardest part. Like whenever I think about it, and I try not to think about it just for that reason.
I won't ever get to see him again. None of us will. And we won't get to see him smile. He had so many hopes and aspirations for his big brother, and he just won't get to see him do the things that he wants to do.
The funeral was very, obviously it was hard. Bringing back a lot of memories that we had in that moment, trying to think of the good as I was seeing my brother for the last time. So far, the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. I had to close the casket on my brother.
I tell him that we love him and that we're gonna keep pushing on and we're gonna keep our family together and that I'll definitely see him again. That's for sure.
People sending texts, thoughts like that, and a lot of people don't even know how much that means, but that means a lot just to know that you ain't going through stuff alone. And then, of course, once I got around all my brothers and stuff with the team, they don't even know how much that helped me.
We were going to be with him here no matter what, what role that we could play for him from a support standpoint. He knew that we were here for him.
With how much my family has helped me cope with this and go and get through it, and still getting through it each and every day, I definitely think I'm helping them.
It's good to come down and see him do well and play. And we just, we want to keep our family close together, so. I always tell him, I need an interception. I need a pick this week. But this one was a little more special because he wanted to get one for his brother.
Before that game, and the day before in the hotel and all that, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I definitely gotta get a pick for my brother. That's what he would have wanted. And it happened. I just looked up and kind of imagined him smiling down on me like, yeah, you got that for me.
My wife and I, we had tears in our eyes. It was just a sentimental moment. It was great.
Definitely kind of that motivation in the back of my head, or who I'm playing for, and letting that build a fire in me. Know why you strapping it up, know why you strapping that helmet up, putting on those cleats.
It was always be first team MAC was the goal. This season, we felt like this was more attainable.
Film study, knowing the game better, having great teammates around me and stuff. It's all falling into place, and you kind of see some of the hard work results pay off.
He wanted to, honor his brother with his play and his performance on the field, and I certainly think Antonio Phillips did that.
He's done everything else that he set his mind to. He's got that will.
If I'm blessed enough to be able to be challenged at the top of the top for the best of the best play, it'd be a dream come true. Really, a dream come true.
Given the opportunity and how competitive it is, at the next level in the National Football League, Antonio Phillips' work ethic, his toughness, not only physically but mentally, that'll give him a great shot to have a chance to make it.
My brother wouldn't want me to stop and give up everything I had worked so hard for up until this point. It's took a lot for me to get here, and he knew that. I know that. My family knows that.
And now he knows that it's even more important for him to reach his goal now because of the influence that he had on his brother.
Just trying to do whatever I can each and every day to make that right and kind of live out a dream for the both of us.
As head coach Mike New tweeted after the story was released, Antonio certainly is a true Cardinal.
We're almost out of time for this month, but if you like the story you just saw, we have another exclusive coming in next month's show. Here's a tease of women's basketball's Aubrey Deuce Benson and her dad, a special story that is sure to be another tearjerker.
My dad was one of my biggest motivators through me trying to find, my love for basketball again, because, he always instilled patience and, continue to chase your dreams. And like him, being somebody that's like basketball smart and know the sport, I was able to, talk to him about different things and he would understand. He was like a really big part of like me continuing on with trying to, do what I wanted to do with basketball. I know regardless of what I do, he's always gonna be proud of me. He says that to me all the time. So he always says regardless if I play basketball or not, he's always gonna be there for me. He's always gonna be proud of me.
What would that mean for you for him to come to a game here?
It would mean the world. Like he's never seen me play.
Substitution for VSU returning zero Deuce Benson.
That story is one you will not want to miss. Keep your eyes peeled for the rest of the Aubrey Benson story coming soon.
Well, that wraps it up for this episode of Every Athlete Matters, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. For Sandra El Sadek and our entire crew, I'm Rachel Berry. Make sure to follow us on social media at BSU SportsLink. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Touchdown, Ball State.